Hi everybody, I'm Cassandra Donnelly from Creative Passages, and I'm here in my studio, and it's late at night, but I want to talk to you about creating chapters because some of you have already started your grief journals, and I don't want you to get stuck waiting on me. So chapters are pretty important as far as organizing your grief journal. So I'm going to show you a couple examples, and then I'm going to make one. But the basic idea is that you can organize your grief journal / trauma journal with chapters that will be designated to the type of grief or loss that you're working through. Now, if there's just one loss for you, then I suppose you don't need chapters. But even if you have one loss, your grief could be organized into, memories, and then feelings, and then journal writing and artwork. You could still find a way to utilize chapters even if it's just one loss that you're working through. Or maybe it could even be special, like let's say you lost a family member. Your chapters could relate to special time frames, like if you lost your mother, maybe childhood memories, then maybe young adulthood memories, or you could have a chapter maybe of advice that your mother gave you. So that's just an example of how you might organize it if it's only one loss that you're working through. However, if there's multiple losses that you're working through, you lost lots of loved ones, and then on top of that there's other types of grief such as trauma, or divorce, or loss of a function, or dealing with a disability, or a loved one that's dealing with a disability. Those are types of griefs that you may encounter, types of loss that you may encounter. So a chapter then could help you organize that. So that's one reason why my grief journal is so thick. So that's just an idea there, and I'm going to show you a few examples, and then I'm going to make one. Alright, so this is my chapter page on lost time, and this one, it was a little bit more involved. So I like to include basic little envelopes in my chapters, but you don't have to have one. This one I kind of went all out with, used a book page and added some lace, and I added stress oxide inks, and I actually turned myself into a little bumblebee just because I saw another video of a bumblebee and I thought that's so cute. But then I used Photoshop to attach my face to it, and there's ribbons, and then of course this is my last time chapter, so I have that word. I think I like to incorporate the word on my journal page. So this says, "Without hope we fail to exist." I've got a clock there. You can buy lots of stickers and things from the Dollar Tree, or Temu is a good place to get stickers and ephemera like that as well. And then of course I like adding fabrics. I like adding ribbons to my page at the top and at the side. The only thing you have to be careful with as far as the ribbons go is that in another video I'm going to show you how to make these removable page tabs. This one says lost time, and if your ribbon is too big and bulky like this one is right here, the page tabs could fall off of it. So that's the only thing. There was a few places in my journal where that was the case, and they kept falling off, and I just decided to glue them on. The advantage of this is of course is that you could move it around later. You can change your mind about it. But these are just paper clip tabs. I'm gonna have a separate video on how to do that. Also, I wanted to show you just another example of a chapter page that's a little bit more simple. So in this particular one right here, this one is just about my dad, and I just took one scrapbooking paper and added some ribbon to the top and to the sides. And for this particular ribbon I used some colors that reminded me of my dad. And we used to always go out and he worked as a maintenance mechanic at Hoover's, and so he worked with a lot of metals and things, and he would take us to bury the metals, and then later we would unbury them, and the whole idea was to show us that some of these metals wouldn't tarnish. Well, anyway, so that is why I chose silver. So you can use colors and patterns that remind you of your loved one. Also, I just created another pocket out of some old artwork that I had. And so pockets, you know, basically it's just a piece of paper, and you can just glue down the sides, and then I added a bookmark in here. So this one says, "You're safe now, in Father God's loving arms." Since my loss of my father was complicated, since he also abused me. So anyway, so that's why I have the chapter bookmark there, just to kind of comfort me. And then again, this is one of the ones I think I had to glue on. So it's just another, is my grandparents' chapter. And so I basically used some materials that reminded me of my grandparents. This bluey lacy thing reminded me of a shirt that my grandma would wear, and then of course the pink background doesn't really remind me of her, but I liked it, and I thought I liked the color with the blue. And then of course I have another bookmark. The bookmarks, I'm going to explain more about that in a different video. Can't do everything at once. And then of course we've got another tab. I can't remember if I glued that one down, but this one was the really bulky lace. So what I did is I cut the lace off. Yeah, actually I glued this one down, and then I put some washi in the back because this one kept falling down and kind of getting on my nerves. So there's multiple ways to go about it. So I'm just going to make one, kind of show you the process. You can decide how much you want to put in your chapter. All right. Oh, I just wanted to add real quick that for my example, I am going to be working in my trauma journal, since I already have a grief journal. And I think the chapters are going to be a little bit trickier in my trauma journal, just because I've had a lot of trauma. And so I'm not going to go by particular memories, because there's way too many memories to make a picture about it, or a chapter, you know, for each memory. In fact, I don't even have all my memories. I have maybe 80% of my childhood memories. So I have to think of a different way to organize it. Again, there's been a lot of traumas in my life. So what I could do is just make a basic chapter, and then not put the title on it and write the title later. Or I'm thinking about having chapters for different stages in my life, like maybe childhood trauma, or also maybe the different types of trauma, like sexual abuse. I think just to make it easier for me to start, so I can show you an example, is my title for today's chapter will be childhood sexual abuse, because that is a particular type of trauma I went through, and I went through other traumas as well. But that one is probably the biggest trauma. And then there was adult sexual abuse that happened to me as well. Different rapes and things like that. Along with still other types of trauma. So when you have complex, PTSD and trauma, then it might be a little bit trickier, but don't let that get you stuck. You can still make art and decide on your chapters later. It's just I'm trying to help you all be organized, so I want to include this video about making the chapters, and then the next video will be on the chapter tags, and then from there will be a journal page, and then probably after that I will make a video about the dangles on your journal. So because even though that I made my dangles before I started making my chapters and my pages, they're not quite as important as the actual journal pages. So I just want to make sure I get this all out there. All right, so now we're going to make the journal page. All right, so I'm going to begin my chapter, and I'm going to use a tag board for this. You could use just watercolor paper or mixed media paper. For my cover, I use 2 tag boards, and so this is my journal right here. Now, you can make this however you want. I just happen to like my chapter pages to be the same size as my journal cover. This is 5.5 by 8.5. I used a cutter. Of course, you don't have a cutter, you can just use, you know, regular scissors to cut it. So 5.5 by 8.5 is the journal size that I'm going with. I did choose that size because I thought it would make cuter little pockets and things like that. I thought with the larger journal it might look odd. I'm pretty new to the journal making, so I'm going to set this aside, and I think that I want to keep it sort of simple and do maybe like a collage. So I'm going to just start off with this. Now I'm going to glue my paper on first, and then I'm going to put some punches in. So I'm using diluted Mod Podge. I just find if I don't dilute the Mod Podge, then it tends to stick all over my fingers. I tend to be a little bit messy anyway as an artist. Okay, so I'm going to just fold this over, and let's just do it like this. I'm going to glue it here, and I can cover this back of it with something else. Okay, so I'm going to then, you know what? I'm just going to go like that. Now, with the thin chipboard, it does get a little bit kind of wonky, but it'll kind of straighten itself out if you start adding other things to it. Or you can just lay it flat. Once it's dry, you can lay it flat underneath something. Okay. So I have this. That's going to be... Oh, I like that paper. I really like... I like that paper. Oh, I love that color. I don't know why I like that color so much, but I do. Okay, so what do I want to do here? I don't want to make it too complicated because I don't want it to be an art page. I'm thinking, boy, I probably should have just done some art. Okay, so I'm thinking that I like cute little pockets. So what could make a cute little pocket for me? I could do something like that. This is just a jelly print I made, but I don't know if I like it for that. This is another, whoops. This is another jelly print, or painted paper. It might not be a jelly print. I'm considering, where's my scissors? I'm considering this. So I guess you have to figure out what you want. It's a little bit kind of all over the place, but so is trauma. And and I kind of like it that it's so messy and perfect. That could potentially be really cute. I need paper towels. This is good. I think I might like that. Okay, so, but it would need something more. So this might actually be pretty quick. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm not going to use the Mod Podge for these edges because it takes a while to dry. Now, I've got my fabric tack, which I love because it's so quick and easy. So I'm going to put this here. This is going to be kind of a thin little cover. And I'm thinking I'm going to need some embellishments like ribbons and things. Okay. This is going to be a little pocket because I think pockets are cute. And now I'm also going to need some ribbons and lace. I don't know. It's kind of cute right there. This is all about the embellishments. Okay. All right. So before I get too far ahead, let me put my holes in here. So you have to get out your master board, which I have my master board here a second ago. What did I do with it? Here it is. Okay, I'm going to put my master board here. And I'm going to just line it up. And I'm going to use a pencil to draw my holes. And I'm going to go ahead and punch it. Now, I love lace and ribbons, and I thought about what is going to look good with this. So, I got various laces on Temu. So I pulled this one out. It seems too bulky. I don't want to use that one. I do want to use this lace at some point in time, but right now, I don't think that I want it with this. I brought this lace out, and I'm thinking I might want that as a border. And you know, if this is stark white, I can change the color of it, so you can make your ribbons match. There's a couple ways to go about doing that. I also brought out this. It's sort of like a ribbon, but it's almost like it's got beads sort of connected, so I can use that on it as well. But I also noticed this purple lace right here. And you know, lilac, this color lilac as a child was one of my favorite colors. So I'm really thinking that I want to use this, and I want to put it right here. And even though it doesn't 100% match this, I think by the time I get it all done, it will. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put it on the flower portions. And I'm thinking, so I didn't want to put it up here because I like the fact that this is ripped right here, and that is not perfect. And I like that it's a little bit not perfect down here. So I didn't want to cover that up. I like that it's like a little edge right there. So seems like it needs just a little bit more glue. And I thought, not 100% sure how well this matches this background color. So I got out some pan pastels, and I'm thinking I could maybe try to add just a little bit of that color on here. So what I'm thinking is maybe a little bit of pink or fuchsia and maybe a little bit of brown. Might make that color. So I'm thinking, okay, where would I put this color at? I don't want to take away from the purples, which make that stand out. So we've got a little bit of pink, and I'm gonna go with this brown right here. Ooh, that's already like matching. Can you see that? That wasn't hard. I thought it would be. I thought it'd be harder than that to match it. Okay, do you see right there? Okay, let's add just something like that to another spot. Let's put it right here. And let's add a little bit of brown right here. And more pink. And I'm going to add just a teeny bit of this color. Wow, okay. I got to match so well you can't, it's like disappears, okay? That's cool. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more right here. Right here. A little bit too much brown there. Let's see, a little bit more of this. I don't want it to disappear, so maybe I'll leave a little brown on the edge and put this color right here. There we go. Alright, and I'm wondering, we've got, I think I need just a little bit more right here to kind of balance things out. So I'm going to put it right here. Oh, that already kind of matches, but let's make it just a teeny bit brighter. Alright, so that looks pretty good. I'm going to spray it with some Fix-It-In because I put those pan pastels on there. Ooh, that actually makes some of the parts of the gel print stand out that were on it that I didn't see before. I'm liking that a whole lot so far. Now I'm thinking maybe it needs a little bit of collage, but not too much. So I have, ooh, that's kind of a cool little piece. But no. I'm not sure about that. I'm thinking maybe it doesn't need to be covered up because it's quite pretty the way it is. So, and I also had this gold right here that I could possibly use. Put it right top if I wanted to. And I kind of like that actually. Right at the very top. So, I think I'm going to go ahead and add that. It makes a nice little border. Decorating is so fun. You can get lost in the decorating. And like especially if you don't know how you feel or your feelings are kind of overwhelming you, just making something decorative like a pocket or a chapter cover for your journal is so soothing that you can kind of get lost in it. Put that there, and just took like a break from the journal making when I got done with my other grief journal, because I spent like 6 months maybe just on my journal alone, and so I needed a break. But after doing this, I'm realizing how much fun it is. Well, I guess I got that. Oh, you know what? I need to make sure I don't get it stuck. Okay. That's the thing, when you're making these pockets, you want to make sure that you're not, you're going to have room for, okay, so there you can see that it's good. I can put something in there. I don't want it to stick. Alright. So, now, I was thinking I could go that same lace on the end there, but I don't have that much of it left. I really want, I'm thinking I might want this, but not that much of it. Maybe just a little bit of it, and it's too bright. So I'm thinking that it needs to be a different color. And I'm thinking that this color might match it well. So a couple ways I could go about this. One is I can dye it. I can make a solution of water and acrylic ink to match that color, or I could spray it with something like this, or I'm thinking for time's sake, so I don't have something wet that you have to wait for it to dry, I'm thinking I might try to, well, the problem is I don't really have the shade of purple. Now I could try, I could try making it. So I'm gonna just see what happens. If this doesn't work, I can always redo it. So you don't have to, I do have something on there. As you can see, I'm not all that precise. This does have some color on it from before. But that's not bothering me because it kind of blends in with this, and it just makes it a little bit duller and more antique-ish like. So I'm just going to do this and back. Hand pastels are really nice. They're a little bit on the pricey side, but I'm going to have to brighten it up just a little bit. But first I want to get this purple in here. I don't have to brighten it up because this color is going to match well, but I'm thinking that I might want to. Okay. I kind of do like that. So I'm a little bit wary of doing this, but I'm going to try adding some of this bright fuchsia and see if that makes it more of a purplish color. And I don't want it to be too bright. Now I could have, of course, gone with a completely clean sponge, but you could see that that didn't really bother me at all, that it had those other colors on there. However, if it would bother you and you're doing something like this, then you would want to either A, clean your brush, your sponge I mean, or B, get a new sponge. Okay, now that's a little, and I actually like the fact that it kind of dulled it up a little bit, because to me it matches better, you know, because this is sort of a dull shade of pink, a dusty shade. Okay, I'm kind of happy with that, but now we got the back, okay? So let's do the back. I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to add this light purple color here. Oh good, you could see me doing it. I'm going to add that light purple color first. Both sides. I should probably spray this as well. I'm just remembering I shouldn't make this too long since I'm narrating it. I don't want to have to like zoom it that much faster. Okay, so let me try to make this quick. I like making art. It's so much fun. Just this little, like, I was tired and I almost decided not to come in my art studio. I almost decided to just go to bed early, like 9:30, and then I came into my art studio. It's like 10:30 now. Well, I didn't quite get started right away. I don't think I've been on the camera that long. Okay, so perfect. Okay, I'm gonna spray it. But I'm so glad I did because I'm feeling better. You know, I like get tired sometimes because it's late at night, and you know, and I work kind of late. But then you start making art, and it's like, ooh, you get like a second wind. At least I find that to be true with me. A second wind. Okay, so it kind of needs to be dried, but you don't need to see that part. All right, I dried it, and then I started looking at this Dina Winkley Media Gloss Spray, the blushing color, and I'm looking at all these splatters right here, and I'm thinking I want some. This, I can't get it to spray out anymore, so I'm just gonna like throw in a few splatters here because I like splatters. And it seems to just go with the theme of trauma and the splatters here, and the color is pretty close to this, so I do like that. I do like these splatters. I should have this pause, but I don't. And here's my water bottle. Okay. There we go. I don't think it did anything. Okay, gonna pause. Alright, so I want this ribbon like this. I just want part of it to stick out. So I'm gonna move it like this. And I'm going, oh, that's so pretty. Okay, I might want it like that. I was going to cover it up, but it's so pretty. I don't want to cover it up entirely. So, I need to get something on the back of this. So, I could go with something similar and put this on the back of it. I kind of like that idea. Okay. And I like the more organic look of tearing. I don't want to tear too much. Okay. Ooh. Ooh. Let's see. You know what? Oh, okay. You know, I was thinking that, okay, this is tattered here. I like that. Like for a trauma journal, I like that. So I think I'm going to have that on the back and then put that like that. Just keep it simple. I just I like that. Okay, so I need my brush. I'm going to go ahead and put this right here, and put that down. Is that how I had it? Yeah, that's how I had it. Okay. And I like the fact that it's kind of wrinkled up too. I do. I like that. So I don't want to take the wrinkles out. I want the wrinkles to stay in there. That, to me, that looks cool, and it's kind of satisfying because it's not perfect, and I mean, it's colorful, it's artsy, yet it's fragmented, it's torn and tattered, kind of like trauma. So I'm going to put this down now, and I gotta make sure that I get the right amount sticking out that I want. Okay, so I'm going to put it this way, and I'm going to lay that down, And I'm going to just do this little by little. All right. I got this little piece of fuzz right there. Okay, came right off. Okay, so now it just needs some grommets. And, oh, did I do this upside down? Sure did. Oh, doesn't matter. I kind of wanted this to be at the bottom, but doesn't matter. Okay, so interesting. I like it that way too, I do. Okay, so I'm going to use my grommets and my grommet plier and put that in there. Basically all that does is just add some reinforcement here. So when you're doing this, you want to make sure, of course, that you're facing it the correct way. So I want the pocket to be right there. And I need to add just a teeny bit more glue right here. Okay, just like that. And now I'm going to choose gold. This one's not too hard for me because I see the gold right there. I'm going to pick two of them. Of course, there's two sides to this, so I have to decide what. This is kind of like the fancier side, so this is going to be the side that I see first. So I want this edge to be right here, this side of the grommet to be where I can see it. Because of course on the other side then you'll have this. So I'm going to put it like right here. I'm just going to put it in there. Just like that. Now for this is your grommet plier, and you've got two sides. You've got one with the little prong thing here, and see, little prong thing sticking out, and then you've got one with a little indentation and a little indentation and a little groove right there. So the groove you want to lay under it. So you want to do this with the prong part facing out. Can you see that? The metal piece, the metal edges are facing outward. So this part of it, the flat indented part of this, I want to be underneath this, so that now move it till I fit it in the groove, and then let's see if I can do it this close. This metal piece right here is going to push this down. So you do have to have everything kind of lined right, or it's not going to push down. So I'm going to do it like this. You need two hands. Okay, so there you go. Okay, I'm going to do the other one. Take my piece, which I thought I got two of them out, but I didn't see one. Lay that down for a second. Oh, I already have it in there. I just didn't see it. I need my glasses. Okay, so I'm going to line it up like this. And then this is kind of, I slid this flattened part, the indented part underneath, and then you can kind of slide it and you can kind of feel the groove go into place. Then this prong part, I'm going to push down like this. And I need two hands to squeeze it. And then that is going to flatten it up there. Okay, you see that? Flatten it up. Okay, so this is almost entirely done. This is the front side. That's the back side. The only thing I need though is title. I could go about this two different ways. One is I could just write my title out, like maybe write it right here, or I could type it out on the computer and print it out, and then put it there. So what do I want to do? Do I want to write it out, or do I want to print it out? Or if you had like stamps, you know, with the letters, you could do that. I'm not sure I have that. So when in doubt, you could try it different ways. That's too small here. I'm thinking about doing this. No. That's a little bit too bright, so I would need to dull that up a little bit. So I can just try it. I can get a Sharpie. If any of my Sharpies work. Let's try it. It has to be all over the place. It doesn't work. Okay. Here's another one. This one sort of works, but not great. This one wants to stay all over the place. And I'm a little leery about cleaner pens because they're so, they write so thickly. Let's pause this. Alright, so I found this Sharpie, which matches that. So I want to write childhood sexual abuse. Now if I don't like this, I can always go back and print this out. Childhood sexual abuse. Now that's too bright, so I've got some distress oxide stamps I could use to, I'm not sure I'm gonna like it, we're gonna see, but I'm gonna add some of this purple to it. Notice I used a permanent marker, so I won't have to worry about the color spreading out. Of course, I could use watercolors to alter this as well. Diminish that. I like the color, looks good. Okay, so, but it needs to show up better, so let's see if we have a Sharpie that works. Let's write. What else is in here? So I've got that. I'm liking it better. Actually, kind of like that. So what I'm going to do now, distress oxide inks are really good, or any type of stamp is good for doing these little edges here. You just take one of these things and you just kind of go over the edges, and it will make things kind of look, of course, distressed and more vintage. In fact, I might do that on these edges right here. That needs to be stuck down just a little bit better. doing the short. Okay. And I could do these edges too, but I don't think I need to because this type of paper already kind of looks distressed. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not kind of liking it. Okay. And then I could put this right here. And I don't have to use this glue. I could use just paper glue, or I could use Moche. This is quick and it's, not that, it's not wet really compared to like the Moche. Alright, so I just wrote this one out versus printing it. The other journal I printed all my titles, so you could go either way. I don't know if I'll keep it this way for all of it or what, but I've got my first page here. I mean my first chapter, not really a page. So I could put that in my trauma journal here, just like that. Open this up and stick this in here. Later, I can, I could always go back and add more things to this. Alright, there's my trauma journal and my first chapter, childhood sexual abuse. And later I can make a little bookmark to put in there. And I'm happy with that. I think it's kind of cute. And I like that too. So then I can start making pages to put in here. And I like how that little greenish yellow kind of matches this as well, this green and that yellow. So as you're going about, you might think about like, how do your colors coordinate? Of course, I like multiple colors. So, and then once you start adding your ribbons, you can kind of see one ribbon kind of stacked against the other ribbon. And I also love that too. My other journal had all kinds of ribbons and things on the pages. You see like that. Anyway, be blessed everybody. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly had some fun. Bye.